Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. We are on Adi Leela, chapter 7, text 121. We have been reading the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and we will continue to read it. Non-devotees factually appreciate the wonderful creation of material nature, but they cannot appreciate the intelligence and energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind this material creation. So, we make comments like, oh, the material world is so beautiful. Look at the beautiful nature. Look at the beautiful mountains. Look at the beautiful sky. Look at the beautiful rivers. Look at the beautiful flowers, the design on every flower, or the butterflies. There's such intricate designs on the butterfly. So people make paintings, hold exhibitions, art exhibitions, photographs, poetry, writings, all on the beauty of nature. But when it comes to glorify God, who is the creator of nature, then we say, no, why shall we glorify God? And then that is our envy of God. That is being atheistic. We appreciate, we glorify the material nature as so beautiful. There's so many instances where we are like awestruck. We see something so beautiful. I don't know if you all have had that experience. We are in some place, or just we see something and we're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. How come this butterfly has such a beautiful design? But the thing we should glorify is God, who has created this design. It is God's energy. It is God's creation. It's God's intelligence. So He's such a wonderful artist. So we need to glorify God. And instead we say, no, there is no God. There is just some universal energy, there is no God. And that is the thing that we need to understand. This is the thing that we need to rectify. We need to become God conscious, bring God back into our life. Srimad Ramanujacharya, however, refers to a sutra from the Aitareya Upanishad 1.1.1, Atma va idam agra asit, which points out that the Supreme Atma, the Absolute Truth, existed before the creation. One may argue, if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely spiritual, how is it possible for Him to be the origin of creation and have within Himself both material and, spiritual energies? To answer this challenge, Sripad Ramanujacharya quotes a mantra from the Taittiriya Upanishad 3.1 that states, okay, so in the Aitareya Upanishad 1.1.1, it clearly says that the absolute truth, that God existed before this material world was created. Sripad Ramanujacharya, he is the Acharya of the Sri Sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya is a bona fide Sampradaya, is a bona fide Vaishnava Sampradaya beginning from Krishna in the line of Lakshmi Devi. They're still there, there's a lot of Sri Vaishnavas, especially in South India, very learned, very Brahmanical, and their Acharya Ramanujacharya, he points out that in the Aitareya Upanishad, it states that God existed before He created this material world. Now, someone may argue God is spiritual. How come He's creating something material? So Ramanujacharya, he is stating from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhi samvishanti. This mantra confirms that the entire cosmic manifestation emanates from the absolute truth, rests upon the absolute truth, and after annihilation, again re-enters the body of the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Taittiriya Upanishad clearly states that this material world, this cosmic manifestation, is this material world that we are seeing, that we are experiencing. It comes from God. It's resting on God's energy. And then when it is destroyed, it enters into the body of Mahavishnu, God, as we have been hearing in Srimad Bhagavatam. The creation is described so much in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in the second and the third canto. And it is repeatedly described for us to understand how this material world is created. So Mahavishnu lies down. From his breathing, from the pores of his body, all this material creation happens. Then when he breathes in, everything, all the material universes again go in his body. That's it. That's how it is. We simply have to accept it. We hear and we accept. And then someone will say, no, God cannot do it. Why God can't do it? God is God. He has omnipotencies. He has many, many potencies by which he can do these wonderful things. God is not ordinary Jivatma. God is Paramatma. So he can do. The living entity is originally spiritual, and when he enters the spiritual world or the body of the Supreme Lord, he still retains his identity as an individual soul. So this is the point we need to understand. In this connection, Sripad Ramanujacharya gives the example that when a green bird enters a green tree, it does not become one with the tree. It retains its identity as a bird, although it appears to merge with the greenness of the tree. So we are spirit souls. After we get liberated, hopefully we get liberated. And after we get liberated, we will go to the spiritual world. So does it mean once we are in the spiritual world, we don't exist anymore? No more. I don't exist anymore. No. This individuality of the soul exists, continues to exist. Individuality is not with the body. The body is just dead matter. This body we are going to leave, it's going to mix with the other material ingredients. But the soul is eternal. So the example that Ramanujacharya gives is we see a green bird that flies into a green tree. Does it mean that the bird is no more? Because the bird has flown inside a green tree, does it mean that the bird has become the tree? What do you think? A parrot is green and he's gone and flown inside a green colored tree. Does it mean the parrot has now no more exists and now the parrot has become the tree? We are foolish if we think that. That's not true. It's just that the bird is green and the tree is green. That's all. But the bird exists and the tree exists. They both are existing. To give another example, an animal that enters a forest keeps its individuality, although apparently the beast merges with the forest. So a fox, he's going inside the forest. We can't see him anymore. Does it mean that the fox is no more now? He's merged into the forest? No, the forest is there, the fox is there. Individuality is retained. Again, we have to understand individuality is not with the body. It's not that the body is individual. It is the soul that is individual. The dead body, we burn it or we we bury it, we decompose it as soon as the soul leaves the body. So the individuality is with the soul, not with the body. Similarly, in material existence, both the material energy and the living entities of the marginal potency maintain their individuality. So we living entities, the jivatmas, we souls, each of us have our own individuality. It's not that when we get liberated, we are all going to join and mix and become one big blob of soul. No, we retain our individuality. That means eternal. That means spiritual. Something that is spiritual can never be lost. Our consciousness is spiritual. We are spiritual. Our individuality is spiritual because we are the soul. We are not the material body. Thus, although the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead interact within the cosmic manifestation, each keeps its separate individual existence. So the material energy, she is also one of Krishna's energies. And so she is also eternal. It's not that she mixes and then she does not exist anymore. No, she continues to exist. She's eternal because she belongs to God. God is eternal. His energies are eternal. We say God is omnipotent. So all these are God's potencies. Material energy, spiritual energy, we the souls, we are one of the potencies of God. So we continue to exist. Thus, although the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead interact within the cosmic manifestation, each keeps its separate individual existence. Merging with the material or spiritual energies, therefore, does not involve loss of individuality. This is the point we need to understand. Individuality is never lost. According to Ramanujapad's theory of Vishishta Advaita, although all the energies of the Lord are one, each keeps its individuality. Vaishishtaya. So this is Vishishta Advaita, that all the energies of God maintain their individuality, although they all belong to God. All the energies belong to God, so they're all His, but they each maintain their individuality. Srimad Shankaracharya has tried to mislead the readers of the Vedanta Sutra by misinterpreting the words Ananda Mayobhyasat. And he has even tried to find fault with Vyasadeva. All the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra need not be examined here. However, since we intend to present the Vedanta Sutra in a separate volume. So, Srimad Shankaracharya, he has misinterpreted Srila Vyasadev's commentary, and so we should stay away from the misinterpretation and stick to Srila Vyasadeva, who is the original author of the Vedanta Sutra. Srila Vyasadeva is the original compiler of the Vedas. So we just follow what he has written. His Srila Vyasadeva, because the Vedas are so vast, so he put the Vedas, he concised it, condensed it in the Vedanta Sutra. But the sutras are so difficult for people to understand. And in this age of Kali, we do not have that kind of understanding to understand the sutras. So for our benefit, he wrote a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran. It is the spotless Puran. There is no spot on Srimad Bhagavatam. It only speaks of the glories of devotional service, of the Supreme Lord, of his devotees. And just by continuously reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the pure devotees, we can be liberated. We can be situated in our original position as the soul. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit that, hey Rajan, this age of Kali is an ocean of faults, but there is one good thing in this age of Kali. Sukadev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, he told Parikshit Maharaj, there is one good thing in this age of Kali, and that is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And so that's the reason we are encouraged to take up this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. And this will help us to be reinstated in our glorious positions as spirit souls, parts and parcels of God. So we'll stop here for today. I'm not sure if there's any question or any comment or anything. Any realization? Anyone wanted to share anything about what we have been reading?
No, all okay.
Okay, so then we'll stop here for today. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and